1 minute until showtime.
Hey, I'll tell you what, that's about as good as it gets. I don't think we need another one. All right, very good. Give yourself a round of applause there. Uh,
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, from the world's most famous beach, from where beach racing began, it's the Legends of Racing radio show. Live from racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill in Ponce Inlet, Florida. The Legends of Racing radio show. And your host, Buzz McKim.
Hey, hey!
oh, hey, there we go. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. We thank everybody out there looking in to see what we're up to. And we're going to have a great show today. This guy here sitting next to me, I thought I knew him, but I didn't know nothing about him until he sent me his story. And holy cow, it's amazing. He's done everything. Did you ever flag?
I did not flag.
Okay, that's about the only thing you didn't do, though, right?
I did announce in a race I announced a race one time.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
darn.
fun.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, my dad was an announcer. He made a circus out of it. Definitely. Well, this is Mr. Rolf Schnur, everybody.
Hey, hey!
Yeah. Very good. So, what brought you to Florida? You were living up north there, weren't you?
I was in Charlotte, and unfortunately, we lost my mom 2 years ago, and my wife and I decided it was time to play tennis 5 days a week, and we moved to Palm Coast a year ago, July.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's great. It's good to have you in the neighborhood.
Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, you started out in this racing thing as a little kid, right?
I did. 1959, my uncle owned a Chrysler Plymouth dealership, suburban Chrysler Plymouth in East Hanover, New Jersey. And ironically, it was across from Van Eiterstein Speed Shop.
Oh, yeah.
And his service manager was a guy named Eddie Sigler, who drove stock cars at Wall and Old Bridge, and said to my father, Marty, do you want to go down and watch a race? And that's what happened. And a couple months later, I looked outside in West Orange, New Jersey, and I yelled, Pop, there's a race car and a hauler outside. My parents never drank rum until that night, and for $400 they bought Jack Hart's backup car, and we were in it for a few years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. The instant race car.
Instant family and racing.
I'll be darned. Now, didn't you also get a moving van?
There was a moving van, and it was funny, when I owned Big Block Dirt Modifieds, I often thought I have more in T-shirt inventory than my parents bought the moving van and the race car.
That's funny. Yeah. Then you went to Flemington. How'd you get involved with the Flemington Speedway?
You know, when I got out of college, I moved back to New Jersey eventually, and I became the writer for Area Auto Racing News for Flemington Speedway.
Sure.
And my favorite car was Ken Bren's 24 and Ken Bren Jr. And I said, you know, I might want to own one of these things one day. And after Syracuse that year, I saw an article in Area Auto Racing News again, and it said Ken Bren's 24, the Grant King car that sat on the pole at Syracuse, was for sale. And as a dumb kid, put a second mortgage on my house and paid $19,000 for the #1 modified in the Northeast.
Holy cow. That's amazing. That's what you're talking about guts.
Yeah, a lot of people said I shouldn't have owned a race car since I didn't know how to check the air in a tire, but
So did you drive it yourself?
I did not. My first year, Jimmy Bren, Ken Bren's other son, did, and we had a great year, and I actually got to go to Victory Circle at Flemington Speedway. I was a car owner, which was my dream.
Oh, that's great.
So did you do any driving in your career?
When I got to Charlotte, I drove Legends cars for about 5 years, which was a lot of fun.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's not the same thing.
You're very competitive now, isn't it?
I'm a tennis competitor, but I wouldn't say I'm a racing competitor.
Well, Saturday night or Wednesday night, whatever night they run at Charlotte, that's a real competitive racing series. You go to see the Legends cars, man, they're rocking and rolling.
No kidding.
It was a lot of fun. I did it was Tuesday, and we had a great time. And I was a good athlete, so I could understand how to drive the car. But for $35 for fifth place, I wasn't about to wreck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
you also got all the hot young kids running that. I mean, you were fighting the best of the best.
Well, I was in the old man division, so
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't. But, we can talk about how I found some of the great kids that I got to work with at the summer shootout.
Yeah, you discovered a kid named, let's see, what's his name? Oh, yeah, William Byron.
I did. It was 2013, and they have a thing called the winter heat at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on the quarter-mile track, and I'm watching this kid, and I go, "Who's that new kid in the 25 car?" And they said, "It's this kid named William Byron," and I said, "I never heard of him." And the irony was, he had never driven a race car before that. He taught himself iRacing.
Really?
And
oh, my gosh.
I went to his dad and I said, I really think your kid's got a lot of potential. I'd like to work with you, because I had started a company that trained young race car drivers to be marketable. And I worked with some great kids. But when William came along, I immediately told his dad, I said, "Bill, I've never seen anything like your kid." He goes, "You're blowing smoke." I said, "I won't finish that." I said, "No." The kid literally never makes a mistake. And it was a wonderful year working for William. And my favorite story was he was winning. So the kid goes from iRacing to victory lane to national champion in 10 months.
Wow.
Oh,
He won 33 races and 4 championships his first year,
Holy
which is
cow.
really unheard of.
Yeah.
But one night at Concord on the quarter-mile track, halfway through the race, he's a half a straightaway ahead, and he missed the third turn by about 3 car lengths, and I was mystified because I'd never seen the kid miss anything.
Yeah.
We go in the pits. I go, "William, you missed the third turn." He goes, "The guys behind me in the mirror were having a great race, and I was watching them." So
Oh, that's funny. Well, he sure has come a long way.
he has. I mean, my friend Brett Hearn was on here a few weeks ago, and I worked with Brett, and I said, "Well, if you take all the people I've worked with, I've won more races than they all did." But that's not the case.
That's funny. Yeah, that was a nice surprise to have you here when Brett was here. I didn't know that there was a connection.
Yeah. Well, ironically, I owned Big Block Dirt Modifieds when Brett was racing, and I always looked up to him, and we were always chasing him too.
Yeah.
And I told you the story about when I owned race cars. I wanted to have an Olson car and a Tony File motor just like Brett did.
Yeah.
And that's one year I went to Tony File, who was his engine builder, and I said, "I want a JLB motor." He goes, "What?"
Yeah.
I said, "Just like Brett." And that's where that came from. Unfortunately, he said you can only buy last year's. But no, Brett and I got to work together. We actually created a really cool program. Brett had never had a teammate.
Really?
And there was a young kid named Matt Papa out of New York who was a 14-year-old Legends national champion, pro division. And it's like, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
I called Brett. I said, "I have this crazy idea. I want to make Matt Papa your teammate next year, put him in an identical car at Lebanon Valley Speedway in a sportsman car." And we did it. And we did it on a napkin when he came down to the World Finals. And I called the Papa family, and it was a wonderful, really wonderful time. It was really great, and it got to do a lot of things. And I wrote one press release for Brett that I thought was really fun. It was at Orange County Speedway, and he won 13 or 14 of the Eastern States, and he won 15 titles and 300. I said, "Do you realize you won over $1 million at Orange County Speedway?"
Geez, just at Orange County.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. And, doing a marketing deck or a marketing proposal for a guy like Brett was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll bet. With his driving really explains it all. 920 wins.
Yeah, but the thing about Brett was when I was doing his first marketing deck, I was looking for testimonials, and Jack Johnson, Jumpin' Jack Johnson, we were friends, and he was a great guy. And I said, "Do you have a testimonial for Brett's marketing piece?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "If everybody would stop complaining about Brett winning and put as much hard work as he does in the shop, maybe you wouldn't be chasing him as much."
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, he talked about how his father instilled in him that work ethic, and that's what really, really brought him along.
Yeah, I love the story about Brett and his dad saying, "If you're going to go out on dates, I'm going to stop working."
That's right. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was Brett was a great person to be on the show, and he told a story that we've heard some of that, but you've never heard a full story. He did the whole package, and that's why he was a winner. It's discipline, and he was something extra for the show.
Boy, that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Now, he never ran Flemington too much, so did he? He was mostly Orange County?
He was mostly Orange County, but he would run the tri-track races. And it was ironic that one of the guys that drove for me, Larry Brolsma, who I'm still very, very good friends with, Larry and I were down. We were racing the tri-track series as well there.
Right.
And Brett blew a tire and just destroyed the right rear of his car. And Larry goes, "Well, why don't you drive my car for the feature?" And a hilarious story without getting into it, but Larry's brother's ex-wife hated Brett. And you were hearing all these deleted expletives all over. "Who's driving Rolf's car?" So it was pretty funny, but it was an honor having Brett drive my car.
Oh, I'll bet. That's awesome. How long did you work at Flemington?
I was only at Flemington 1 year. It was an amazing year. Paul Kuhl, who was the promoter of Flemington, was like the greatest guy in the whole world. And he was my, Humpy Wheeler was Charlotte, and everybody said Humpy Wheeler was it. Well, Paul Kuhl was that for me. And my favorite Flemington story is it was the 75th anniversary of Flemington that year, and Paul comes into the office one day and he goes, "We're $105,000 from last year, and I'm not having fun."
Oh.
I said, "Well, I've got this crazy idea. Why don't we do a 75th anniversary race?" And the modifieds, World of Outlaw sprint cars. I called Lenny Sammons at Area Auto Racing News. That keeps coming up a lot. And I said, "Lenny, will you do a 12-page insert on the history of Flemington?" He goes, "If you'll let me have the advertising." I said, "Done." Paul's stepson, Mark Fusco, was a barbecue guy. We brought in a country band. I'm telling you, you have never seen a crowd like this at Flemington Speedway.
Right? Wow.
We also brought back 15 of the great legends of the Speedway and had them there. And he comes in Monday morning, so I look at him and I go, "So how we doing now, Paul?" And he goes, "Plus 5,000. I go, "We had a heck of a weekend." But it was an honor working for Paul and Ricky Kuhl. They were great people.
Yeah.
I still don't wear purple like everything was at the Speedway.
Oh,
but
yeah.
there was never a racetrack like Flemington. It's by far my favorite track. The squared circle. So many great people,
Yeah. Now, you didn't work there when it was asphalt, did you?
No, I didn't. But the interesting part was Paul came to me one day and he goes, "We're having a press conference." And I go, "Yeah?" He goes, "We're paving the track."
Oh.
That was a very difficult press conference, and having to put that together with the media saying, that the most famous track in the area is going asphalt, because it used to be a hamlet of little out there in the country, 50, 60 miles from New York City, and people were moving there, and they didn't want the dust.
Yeah.
And there was dust at Flemington.
Yeah. Now, why would they want to move there and be right next to a racetrack? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's what we always hear. Why would you move next to if you didn't like noise, why do you move next to a racetrack? We see that all over the country.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's Flemington. That we saw some amazing races there over the years. Every summer we go up to visit my aunt and uncle, and first thing we do is we go to Nazareth and we go to Flemington. Had to hit both of them.
As a car owner, being able to go to Victory Lane in the former Ken Bren Grant King car was unbelievable. It was a twin 20 race, which Paul Kuhl loved to do these twin 20 races, and Jimmy Bren was battling Billy Pouch, who was in the Lytle L car, which was a really famous car at the time. And I'm standing on the truck next to Ken Bren going, KB, do you think we're going to win? He goes, we're just going to have to wait and see, kid. But being able, as somebody who probably shouldn't have owned a car, being in Victory Lane as a modified stock car owner at Flemington.
Wow. You wouldn't change that for anything, would you?
No. That was it was unbelievable.
Man, oh man, that must have been something. Yeah, that was on October 4th, 1982.
Yes, that's your birthday, wasn't it?
That's right. It was my birthday. That was my birthday present to you, okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you were...
Oh, what, in 82?
Yeah, how old were you?
I was in elementary school.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
So I missed Flemington a lot.
It was a great track.
Yeah, it's a shame. You know, the Lindbergh baby trials happened right around the corner from that racetrack at the Flemington Courthouse.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the courthouse is still there.
I didn't know that.
How about that?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
If I can just throw in, there was one other race that was pretty funny. The next year, actually the year before we did the tri-track, there was a 100-lap race at Flemington, and my driver was a guy named Bob Fisher. A great guy, really had a lot of fun with Bob. And Brett Hearn won the race, and he was sponsored by Pepsi Light.
Oh, really? Pepsi Light?
Yes, and it turns out he was 20 pounds light on the scale. and Frank Cozy and Chip Slocum, two really great guys, go, you got to protest, you got to protest. I go, and they said, it's $2,000 to win. I said, okay. And so we got to win that race, the Pepsi Light race over Brett.
Oh, that's great. Holy cow. Yeah, so after Flemington, what did you do after that?
I went to Orange County.
Oh, did you really?
As a car owner.
Okay.
The next year, Larry Brolsma drove for me. We had a really fun year. And then I went with Chuck McKee. We had actually raced down to Volusia County.
Really?
To honor my friend Richie Panch with Daytona Budweiser.
Right. Richie, what a great kid he was.
Richie was unbelievable. I was very lucky to know him.
Yeah.
And we ran really well down there, and Will Cagle was the promoter up at Orange County at the time. Another, I've got great Will stories, but a really great time. And we went back, and the local Miller place sponsored my race car. So before I got the Coors Extra Gold sponsorship, we were Miller for a year. We were always the most popular trailer.
Yeah,
sure.
I can imagine.
And then when we got the Coors Extra Gold sponsorship, it was $12,500 uniforms and 100 cases of beer.
100 cases of beer. You were popular.
Yeah, but I didn't drink beer. That was the irony. It should have been like Hawaiian Punch or something.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with Ralph Schnur, everybody.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. At Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees, it's all about making you happy. Beach Boys Embroidery can customize your athletic golf apparel, caps, hats, badges, buttons, magnets, backpacks, bags, totes, clocks, watches, and of course, T-shirts. Sure, they're at 2033 South Ridgewood Avenue in South Daytona, and they're waiting for you to call now. 386-255-5880. Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees. Let Aloha Marine get you on the water with huge discounts on great brands like Bayliner, Carolina Skiff, Hurricane, Key West, and Regal. Pay as little as $169 a month with 10% down and approved credit. Don't wait. Get to Aloha Marine, 1700 North Nova Road, Holly Hill, Monday through Saturday. 47 years and always better than boat show prices. We're back from where it all began, racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And this segment is being brought to you locally by Staples on International Speedway Boulevard. Anything for the office, they can definitely hook you up. And if you want to watch us on your computer, you can go to the Legends of Racing Radio Show YouTube page or a Facebook page. And we go ahead and post the Facebook page an hour after the show. So there we are. And so after Flemington, what was on your trail there?
Well, after I was done being a car owner, after 8 years of, you know how to make a small fortune in racing?
Yeah, start with the big one.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was very good at that. I became the director of marketing at Flemington. We had talked a little bit about that. But then I moved south. It was time. I lost my father in 1990. It was time for a change. Moved to Florida and got involved. Went to a trade show and met a guy from Polaroid named Larry Swenson. He was a senior marketing guy. We tried doing a Daytona dash car with a local kid named Matt Ruby, and it was fun. But then everything really changed for me. My whole career changed because I moved to Charlotte, and I had run into a young lady named Shauna Robinson.
Oh.
And Shauna and I had met at Flemington when she ran the big rig trucks, and Shauna was running the hooligan race. At Charlotte, they used to have a consolation race, last chance qualifier, and Shauna made this crazy 4-wide move and qualified in the race. And she saw me and she goes, we don't have a sponsor for the race on Saturday. And it was Friday afternoon, and I called Larry Swenson at Polar and I said, hey, how'd you like to be the sponsor on a very attractive young female driver who's going to race in front of people on national TV tomorrow? He goes, how much? I said $3,000 and $125 for a decal. He goes, okay. And that's how it began.
Is that right?
It really was. It was that simple. Larry flew down the next week to Orange County, Rougemont, North Carolina.
Right.
We signed a deal that year to race with Don Beverly, the number 25 car.
Sure.
And the following year, I talk about this story. I got to go to Polaroid in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and it was my turn to talk to the head of Polaroid North America to try to convince him to spend $1 million next year.
Really?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
and what really happened was I had put together this incredible, in my mind, 30-minute presentation to convince Polaroid to really get involved in motorsports. And so Larry walks in and he goes, okay, Rolf, you ready? I go, yeah. Well, the good news is Brian O'Connor, head of Polaroid North America, he's ready to see you. The bad news is you have 4 minutes.
Oh, gee.
And that's when I created what I called the 30-10-4. You can have a 30-minute presentation, but you better have a 10-minute presentation, and then you really better have a 4-minute presentation. And it went well, and we had working with Shauna Robinson was wonderful. She was such a great person, both on and off the racetrack. We had a lot of fun together. We had some success, some failure, but probably the hardest thing I ever had to do in racing was we were at IRP, Indianapolis Raceway Park, and I got a call that her father had died.
Oh, really?
Lefty, yeah.
Oh,
Lefty was a great guy. He was a former truck promoter. And the question was, do you tell her before the race or do you tell her after the race?
Right.
I decided after the race. It was probably the best thing. But it was very, very tough. And Sean and I still, every once in a while, send a little thing on Facebook.
Yep. She's a very talented artist, too.
She really is.
Yep.
She really is. She's a really fun person. That was a really fun time.
Yeah, good old Polaroid. Boy, I'll tell you, she carried the colors proudly.
Yes.
Okay, so a funny story is we were at Fenway Park because Polaroid had a suite, and it was right before the New Hampshire race. And Mike Greenwell was the left fielder for the Boston Red Sox, and he was trying to get in NASCAR, and he was trying to steal Polaroid from us.
Oh, really?
And we're all sitting up in the suite yelling, hey, Greenwell, we're up here. You can't have the sponsorship.
Yeah, Shauna, what a talent. Then she was with BAM for a while. You know, ran a lot of cup races. She's a very, very talented gal. Won some goodies dash races and set on some poles.
Yeah, it was funny at Charlotte. We'll talk about Easy Care. When I was with Easy Care, I was the grand marshal for the ARCA race.
Really?
And I got to give the command, and my daughter who at 4 was at Shauna's wedding. we both said, "Gentlemen and Aunt Shauna, start your engines." So that was pretty fun.
That's great. Now, where'd you go from there?
Oof. Well, I had a fun stint with Kenji Momota, the first Japanese NASCAR driver.
Kenji, yeah.
Kenji was, in 1992, he was the last car bumped from the Indy 500.
Was he really?
Yeah, he had $650,000 to race that one race.
Holy cow.
There was a lot of money back then.
Yes.
So we went into the truck series. We rented a truck from Randy McDonald. We ran a few races, and I told you this story, but it's my favorite Kenji. I don't know if you remember TNN Motorsports, the Nashville network. Well, they had this commercial that was TNN Motorsports. It doesn't get any closer. Well, Kenji's dream was to be on one of those commercials. So we qualified, and we were running the race, and Randy McDonald said, Kenji, pass that guy. And Kenji hit the wall. But before I say that, Kenji told me, "Rolf, son, the only reason you are my spotter because by the time I understand a Southern guy, I will hit the wall." Well, he hit the wall, and he said, we think it was Larry McReynolds that came up to him and goes, "Kenji, what happened?" He goes, "Yes, Kenji Momota, first Japanese NASCAR driver, now first Japanese NASCAR driver to hit the wall. TNN Motorsports, it doesn't get any closer." He said McReynolds fell on the ground.
And he got his commercial.
He got his commercial.
That is great. Whatever became of Kenji anyway?
Kenji was also a journalist for Autosport
Really?
Japan. We actually got to do a couple. Kenji goes, "Can you find me any racetracks where we can do some events?" And the old Metropolitan Speedway in Charlotte.
Sure. Yeah.
We rented a Thunder and Lightning car for some Japanese driver, and they called the kid Monkey because he looked like a monkey. Well, they had all like $10,000 worth of cameras in the car. He's going down the backstretch, and all of a sudden, the wheel comes off.
No.
Oh yeah, and then
Lord.
you saw all those kapow, pow, pow things. But Kenji would bring me cash. I'd make the deals, and we had fun with it. He was a wonderful guy.
Jeez. Well, that's right. And he went back to Japan?
I thought he moved. I haven't really talked to him. It was a shame because we had a lot of fun together.
Yeah. That's really wild. Really wild. Now, you worked with Joe Gibbs for a while, too, didn't you?
He was the national spokesperson of a company. I met a guy named Mike Sutherland who was the national sales manager for a company named Automobile Protection Corporation. And they had a product called Easy Care Vehicle Service Contracts. When you bought a car, you go into finance. They want to sell you a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Sure.
I had this crazy idea. I said, "Do you know there's 1,200 grassroots racetracks in America and everyone has a pace car?" There's 1,200 leads.
Oh, boy.
We created a program where if a racer introduced us to a dealership and they switched to sell this product, they got sponsorship money.
Hey.
Oh, good deal.
I had 150 race cars on that deal, including Sonic Automotive, which was
Sonic, really?
Yeah, Marcus Smith, who's now the whole big kahuna up at Speedway Motorsports.
Right.
I was Marcus's first client when he got out of University of North Carolina in 1996.
Is that right?
Yeah, nice young man.
Yes, he's sharp.
And we created this program, and Joe Gibbs became the national spokesperson. And I'll never forget one time, Joe wouldn't call a lot of people, but we called this large dealership group in the Northeast, and Joe goes, "Hey, this is Joe Gibbs," and the guy goes, "Yeah, and I'm Santa Claus." No, this is really Joe Gibbs. But having Joe as a national spokesperson gave this company credibility. It was a really great experience, and I told you that probably the best thing I ever did was I was our company's guest at Joe's induction into the NFL Hall of Fame.
Holy cow.
You want to talk about a fun weekend?
Man, I guess.
And you know I love autographs.
Oh, yes.
Well, you should have seen on Sunday behind the scene, there's 12-year-olds and me going, "There's Paul Warfield," and all of us running down and getting in. There's Jim Taylor. It was really a wonderful experience, and Joe is a wonderful guy. Joe taught me something. Joe used to say, "I'm not very good. I just know how to hire good people."
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's what Joe would say. But
Yeah.
I was very fortunate that I got to be friends with both of his sons, JD and Coy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, JD used to call me Rolfster.
Rolfster.
I used to love that. And on a sad note, the last time I saw JD, I was over at Gibbs' place, and JD walks up. He didn't know who I was. He gave me a hug and said, "I love you," and walked away, and that was the last time I ever saw him. Yeah.
Really?
He was a
Holy
great
cow.
young man.
Boy, oh boy. And then Coy went not long after that, right?
Yeah, I mean, Joe lost both his boys at 49 years old. JD was like Joe.
Really?
JD was the future of Joe Gibbs Racing, and Coy was just a prankster.
Was he
I
really?
mean, oh my goodness. He was unbelievable.
Oh, that's funny. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Rolf's son.
Yes, sir.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Racing's original North Turn is our broadcast headquarters. If you're looking for a good drink, great entertainment, and the best in food, they're right on the beach at Racing's original North Turn. Come on down to dinner tonight. Here are a couple of testimonials. These are actual testimonials from people who have enjoyed the North Turn. Been there many times, always great food and drinks, great location on the beach. And another, what a great experience. It's my new favorite restaurant in the Daytona Beach area, Racing's original North Turn on South Atlantic Avenue. That's A1A in Ponce Inlet, about 3.2 miles south of the Dunlawton Bridge and A1A intersection. It's Racing's original North Turn, a restaurant, museum, bar, gift shop, live music. That's Racing's North Turn. Racing's original North Turn has been voted by you Best Beach Bar Top 10 year after year after year. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim.
Hey, hey!
Well, thank you. You were easily impressed, I must say, and I appreciate that. And this segment being brought to you locally by Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, voted one of the top 5 one of the top 5 markets in the country by USA Weekend. Visit our Shop Now network and our Shop Now at Daytona Flea and Farmers Market Facebook page for the latest vendors. And fresh off the boat, we've got Tony here. How's it going, Tony?
Let's be careful with that fresh off the boat thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. Rolf, I understand you have a pretty extensive collection of racing stuff. Is there a thing that has a good story behind it?
Wow. I was telling Buzz I don't really keep a lot of things unless I was involved. I have a Super Bowl football from Joe Gibbs. Thanks for all your hard work. That's a keeper. My friend George Bryce gave me Angel Sampay's 50th NHRA Pro Stock Motorcycle Trophy.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
There's pictures on the wall. One of my favorite things I have, I don't know if you remember, Ken Bren used to have midgets, and Roger Ward drove his midget at Lime Rock,
Yes,
and
that's
I have a
right.
poster signed by Roger Ward and Ken Bren. That's
really?
Yeah, that's on my wall.
In fact, Skip, where'd Skip go? He's got a poster, he's got a print of that car in that event. A beautiful piece of artwork. How about that? Yeah, that was pretty neat. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. Now, you got to hang out. Yeah, give him a round of applause. He works on that all week. Yeah, so you got to spend quite a bit of time with Buck Baker, crusty Buck Baker.
I will tell you that might be the most interesting year of my life.
Is that right?
I started working with Buck, and my goal was to get more students to go through his driving school. Mm-hmm. And he was such an interesting man. His stories, I'll save my favorite story, but we were down at Rockingham, and he says, I got this kid coming through today. And Jeff Gordon had gone through Buck's racing school.
Yeah.
He goes, I got a kid that's better than him right now.
Oh, my gosh.
It was Tony Stewart.
Really?
Oh,
And we went out to dinner that night, and I guess all racers are playful, and Tony told the waitress it was my birthday. So.
Oh, jeez.
But Buck was an amazing, he knew how to see talent. He was a fascinating man, great storyteller. We would go out to lunch every day, and I would just sit, and I don't know why I didn't write a book,
Oh, my gosh.
because the stories were fascinating, and we would get back, and Buck had this small, crusty is a good word for the shop, too, and we had this little office, and right in front of my desk was a cot. And Buck would come back after lunch, and he would lie down on the cot because he was in his mid-70s at the time, and he'd take a nap. And I'd be trying to sell schools, and he's snoring right there on the cot.
That must have been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, just having his son Buddy come by, you know, Buddy Baker, and his son Randy Baker, and he may he rest in peace. My wife and I were talking this morning, and I was talking about Buck had 3 wives and 3 children.
Yep.
And his last wife was Susan.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
Beautiful lady. And Buck was 53 years old. And he went to the West Virginia Speedway, and he saw this beauty queen. And he looked to Casey Spurlock's dad was C.K. Spurlock, which was the Gambler chassis.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he was the promoter, and he said, I'm going to marry that woman. It was 17-year-old Susan Baker.
17.
Whoa.
Oh, my
And he was 53.
Oh.
And he convinced the parents that weekend. And they lived happily ever after.
They certainly
They
did.
had a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, they had a beautiful daughter, too.
They did. Susan.
Yep.
Yep.
And we worked with Sue a lot when Buck was going into the Hall of Fame there, and she could not have been nicer and more helpful and just a tremendous person.
But I got to tell you the best story. And this was Buck used to fly airplanes. And I will give you the clean version because Buck had a way of adding words to everything he said. And he was running late for Cup qualifying at Rockingham.
Yep.
And he was flying his plane, and he landed in the infield at Rockingham. If you know, Rockingham's a mile racetrack.
Yeah.
There was not enough room to land or take off. And security comes up to Buck and goes, you know, the only way you get that plane out of here is if you dismantle it.
Oh, my gosh.
And then he used a word, and he said, the only way I dismantle it is if I hit the second turn wall on the way out. And that was Buck.
Did he make it?
He made it.
Holy cow.
He made it, and he was a true American legend.
Yeah.
He told me that when he was 15 years old, he was moonshining for his uncle.
Really?
Yep, and he saw a racetrack in somewhere like Raleigh or something like that. And he went and he saw it, and he goes, I can do that. And he went the next week, and he won.
Is that right?
And that's the legend of Buck.
Oh, my gosh.
It was truly one of the most interesting years of my life. And you choose to either be Buck's friend or not, and I chose to be his friend.
That's a very good thing. Very good thing. Yeah, he was a bus driver for the city of Charlotte.
That I can't believe.
He drove a bus.
I
Isn't that
didn't
something?
know that.
Yeah, I sure did. I bet he drove it very well, too. Yeah, I remember one time I found out in an old race program, they used to do biographies of the drivers, and then they'd put their home address in there. And this one was from like 1949, and it had Buck Baker in the address. And just for the heck of it, I went out and took a look at it, and it's just a little wood frame house. It was the house Buddy Baker was born in. It's still there. And I thought that's a lot of chutzpah putting the actual street address of the drivers.
I just remembered another story. I'll give the clean version again. Do you remember the Winston Legends race they had at Charlotte?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, evidently he wasn't the best of friends with Cotton Owens.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they were running, and Buck spun out, and about 10 seconds later, Cotton came around and nailed him.
Oh, no.
And everybody, don't bring the microphone to him, but they did. And he goes, well, that son of a gun couldn't drive 20 years ago, so I guess you can't expect him to be able to drive now. And that was Buck's interview.
Yeah, he lived by his own rules for sure.
He sure did.
He was just an amazing guy. Jeez. And is the driving school still in existence?
I think it's changed names. Randy, his middle child, I guess, is getting up there as well, like we all are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we certainly are, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of scary. That's for sure. Yeah, so, boy, old Buck Baker, I would have given anything to sit and have one of those lunches with you guys.
They were amazing. He was actually very insightful. I mean, it's, you see this gruff man, but he was a very interesting guy. And I remember one time we were at Rockingham, and there was a New Jersey State pursuit officer taking a school. And what he was used to doing was stepping on the gas and spinning the car out. Well, he did that. We didn't wear Hans devices or anything.
Right.
And he hit the inside guardrail at 40 miles an hour, and he died.
Really?
Yeah, he bled out in the car.
Oh, my gosh.
And Buck is at the hospital. Buck's going, that's it. My school's done.
Oh, man.
I said, Buck, we will never forget that this happened, but we'll get through it.
Yeah.
Let me handle it.
Oh, there you go.
And we did, and it was very sad, but I think it's led to a lot of changes in the driving schools today.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with Rolf Schnur, everybody.
Hey!
The caution flag
want to
is
get
out.
into, like,
Time
the
for a
marketing of
break.
drivers
We'll be
and
right
what
back with the Legends of Racing Radio Show. Daytona Flea and Farmers Market is still the one for great savings and the best variety. Whether you need flowers and trees for your home or you're looking for great prices on Daytona Beach souvenirs, the market is the place to go. The market features 1,000 booths, 2 air-conditioned malls, a restaurant, and 9 snack shacks. Hops Grill features gourmet burgers and garden blend salads. Treat yourself to a great variety of brat and hot dog creations at the Doghouse, or enjoy a refreshing drink at the Seltzer Oasis. The market is open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and is 90% undercover, so you can shop rain or shine. There's never a charge for parking or admission. Enjoy our monthly classic car cruise-in on the first Saturday of every month, and garage sale weekend, the third weekend of every month. See all we have to offer at DaytonaFleaMarket.com or like us on Facebook. Discover Daytona's most unique shopping experience, the Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, just a mile west of the Speedway. We're back from where it all began, racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing Radio Show continues with your host, Buzz McKim.
Hey, thank you so much, everyone. We do appreciate that. And this segment is being brought to you locally by Homewood Suites by Hilton over on Bill France Boulevard, around the corner from the Speedway. And they have complimentary breakfast and complimentary happy hour, and each room is a suite. So go check them out if you get a chance. And we got Larry. How you doing, Larry? What you got?
Hey, Larry.
Thanks for being here, Rolf. Appreciate you being here on a beautiful day in Ponce Inlet, Florida. It's hard to take down here, isn't it?
My wife and I say we're on vacation every day.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. I love living here. Anyways, you're a pretty confident guy, so maybe this doesn't pertain to you even. But is there anybody that really intimidated you, or somebody that you felt a little bit underwhelmed when you were going to talk to or ask for something or anything like that?
That is a question I've never been asked before.
I'll be darned.
Maybe my wife the first time.
That's always a fact.
I think when you first meet a guy like Buck Baker or you meet a guy like Joe Gibbs, but Joe made you feel comfortable. That was one of Joe's gifts, that no matter who he talked to, he made you feel like you were an equal. I guess growing up in, in New Jersey, to me, I guess it was, I've learned to never talk down to people. So I don't really think I've ever been in that situation.
I do have one other thing. I know you mentioned you have a Super Bowl football from Joe Gibbs. I wouldn't mind if you bequeathed that to me. Being a lifelong Lions fan, that's going to be as close as I ever get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
You poor thing. You've done a lot of marketing for drivers and things like that, right? Is there a rule of thumb as far as when you're working with the driver?
This is an area that I think has been the most gratifying of anything I've done, was being able to train young race car drivers to be marketable. My father was a world-class designer, and my father's dream was to teach aspiring young designers life's work.
Really?
And he got to. He taught at William Patterson College in Wayne, New Jersey for the last 10 years of his life. And there was a point where I said, you know what? That sounds really attractive. Maybe I want to do that. I want to teach young drivers, what I've learned, and I started a company to do that. And perhaps the most gratifying thing I ever taught, was told by a parent. There's a kid named Trip Gerald out of Lexington, Kentucky, and I worked with Trip on one thing, and that was to make him comfortable to walk up to people, shake the hand. Hi, I'm Trip Gerald. How are you? Nice to meet you. And we did that for a year. And his mom, when she said, if you want a testimonial, she said, you didn't change Trip as a race car driver. You changed him as a man.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
That's great.
What a statement.
That's about all you can really ask for,
Yes, sir. That's fantastic.
It is. And, I tried to – I felt like the race car driver was evolving, and that to be successful in racing, you had to be able to communicate.
Yep.
And the one thing that I preached more than anything was you need to be able to tell your story. Because right now, if I said, Buzz McKim, tell me your story, you'd be able to say, I'm Buzz McKim, I'm from this, that, the other thing. There were so many young race car drivers that couldn't communicate.
Really?
And couldn't really tell their story. And so we worked on that a lot. I actually created this system of public speaking where we would take a speech and we would divide it into sections. Then we would underline words that we wanted to, emphasize. And I got kids that weren't really good public speakers to excel at it. And Max McLaughlin, when I first started with Max, Mike's kid.
Oh, yeah.
Max would go, and we really worked on that. And then a couple of years later, there was a NASCAR truck race, and he ran in. And when he gave his interview, I was emotional. There's a kid that I worked with that was a good public speaker now.
Well, that's awesome. Well, now you helped William Byron a lot in that regard, too, didn't you?
Yeah, like I said, when I found William, I was like, this kid, he's going to go places. And, being here at the North Turn, this is a funny story. I don't know if you know who Glenn Sullivan is.
Oh, sure.
Glenn was a Northeast racer, and Glenn was working with a young driver, and I was working with William. And it'd be 11 o'clock at night, and one of us had drank and the other one didn't. And we would go back and forth, who's going to be more successful, William or this kid he was working with?
Right.
One of them has back-to-back Daytona 500 champions.
That's right.
But anyway, with William, when he got in the Legends car, I did things with William I'd never done before.
Really?
The media center at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, after every Tuesday night race, we would go in there and we would do mock interviews.
Really?
Yeah, because I felt like at some point this kid was going to be interviewed on live, and he needed to know how to do it.
Sure.
And his dad told me the story of where William would go, I don't know why we're doing this stuff, until he won a K&N race in New Hampshire, and he walked out of the media center, said, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, there you go. So he needed to be the whole package.
He needed to be the whole package, and one of my favorite Williams stories was Mr. H, Rick Hendrick, had called William and said, the CEO of Exalta wants to call you. This was before William was sponsored by Exalta. And William said, okay. And what William did was his homework. which is what every driver should do. And Mr. H's response to Bill Byron was, he knew more about Axalta than the CEO did.
Wow, no kidding.
And that's what takes today to do it. You really have to work at it.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Rich kind of pounds into these kids that we have on the show. It's not how well you can drive. You got to fulfill that package.
Yeah, I had a statement, what goes on inside the race car can affect your career outside the race car. Mm-hmm. And I just had a lot of fun creating different ways and different marketing plans. There was a kid in Massachusetts, Brett Haas, still races modified at Lebanon Valley. And his mom, I used to do free webinars online on how to be more marketable and things like that. And it was really, really fun that they were with the Mildred Ellie School in Massachusetts, and we created Racing for an Education.
Really?
And it was his first presentation, and it sold.
Well, that's amazing.
He had them for about 5 or 6 years.
It's fantastic, fantastic. It's got to give you an awful great, feeling of just gratitude, for all this that goes on, and you've been so much a part of it.
It really is. Getting to work, the really cool part was with the internet and phone, there were race car drivers. There's a kid named Chase Bird in Michigan. I worked with him from when he was in the 8th grade till a couple of years ago. We had never met in person.
Really?
Until he tested an ARCA car down here, and I met the family.
Is that right?
Brendan Queen, I met at Daytona last year. I worked with Butterbean for 2 years. I never met him till at Daytona last year.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, he's doing pretty darn good now.
Yeah, Butterbean's
Thanks
pretty
to
talented.
Yeah, Mr. Star Maker right here, Mr. Ralph Schnur, everybody. We'll be right back.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Welcome to Homewood Suites by Hilton in Daytona Beach. You're right in the middle of all the action. Daytona International Speedway, the airport, One Daytona, Florida's newest entertainment and retail destination, and of course, the world's most famous beach. You'll love our newly remodeled 1- and 2-bedroom suites, along with our popular King Studios. You won't need your full kitchen, as Homewood Suites Daytona serves up complimentary breakfast and evening social. It's like home away from home. Go to HomewoodDaytona.com for Homewood Suites by Hilton in Daytona Beach. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim.
Hey!
Hey, thank you so much, everybody. We do appreciate that, and we thank everyone out there looking in on what we're doing. We're having a grand time here with Ralph Schnur, and I'm going to call him the Star Maker. Really.
You know, the real key is when we have young drivers in and we're talking to them, and sometimes they don't have to be so young. They don't understand they have to go to work with a full toolbox.
Yeah.
And, they've got one tool. Maybe that's driving. Maybe it's having some insight. But they don't understand the communication and the marketing and all of that goes with it that they have to handle. And what you've did is you've developed part of the toolbox.
That's what I felt like it was. And I wanted it when I was with Easy Care. The CEO of Easy Care was making a presentation to the Birmingham area auto dealers to do this huge deal. And, man, it was beautiful. It's at a Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
Wow.
We were really pulling all the stops, and it was horrible.
Oh, no.
He said the most clever thing, and I used this in every marketing piece I've ever had. And one of the things I would always teach with a race car driver was when you're giving a speech, using a pause can be fantastic. And this is what he said to get the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, it does not make a difference whether you and I like auto racing. And then came the pause. Because your customers do.
Oh.
And that changed everything. And there was a Birmingham Auto Dealers 500K ARCA race at Talladega because of it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how the simplest thing can make such a big change? And it just is fascinating. I'd like to be you for about a month just to see what you
Yeah,
do.
I don't know. You've been pretty had an interesting career yourself.
Well, you know what we're seeing? This is a reoccurring story that we have nearly every week. Racing is a family business. And I'm listening to you. I'm not saying much, but I'm hearing about your family. And you're bringing all of these people into one big deal. And that's what we do here every day. You know, the folks that are here are our big family. And they show up and they're here, and we got other people on the web and the whole bit. So you're doing what we all do. We have a family of racers.
Well, I had a rule, and I wouldn't work with a racer, and I wouldn't work if I didn't like their family.
Really?
I wasn't going to work with any little league moms and dads. I just didn't need the grief.
Yeah.
And nobody was going to drive my race car unless I could be family with them.
There you go.
I mean, you know, Jimmy Bren and Bob Fisher and Larry Brolsman, Chuck McKee and Sammy Rogers. I mean, these were 5 guys who took this kid in from New Jersey who had no idea what a race car was other than it went around in circles.
Is that right?
I used to corkscrew myself into the top of the trailer. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so is there anything you change?
Yeah. When I moved to Daytona in 1975, I should have gone over to the Daytona International Speedway and become the president of Daytona 20 years later.
Oh, that, yeah.
I don't know. I sold shoes at Ivy's department store in
Did you really?
1975
I'll be darned.
and was friends with Richie Panch and never went over to Daytona.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, boy, talk about Richie. What a great man he was. And a heck of a talent. And he was on his way back, and he really wanted to be a broadcaster, too. That was something that he was hoping to do, but just wasn't meant to be.
Do we have can I give a story about Richie?
Oh, absolutely.
So Richie, I was a tennis player, and Richie shows up one day. He in a new tennis outfit with a new tennis racket, and he goes, in racing, if you don't go fast, you chrome it. So, but he was telling me he was running to Talladega, and he blew his engine, and he fire everywhere, and he puts the net down, and he's ready to jump out, and he goes, I realized I was still doing 125 miles an hour. So Richie was a great kid.
Yeah, we grew up with him. He and Marvette both. A great person. But in fact, let's see, right about the time you were working at Ivy's, my wife was working at Bill Lindsay, I think, or anyway, one of the other department stores. She was working with Donnie Allison's wife, Pat.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Pat was working there. And I want to say it was Bill Lindsay, but I'm not sure. Small world, isn't it?
Oh, it's really small.
Yeah.
Everything connects.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure does. So what's your next project? Or are you just going to go ahead and play tennis for the rest of your life?
Well, I was lucky. I actually got to play in a tournament for old guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was called the Gatlin Cup, and it was teams from all over the Southeast.
Holy
and,
cow.
I'm kind of lucky
Yeah.
at this age to still be playing. No, my hobby now is racing memorabilia. I just think it's fascinating, and you know, I always say that I like paper because paper is easier to ship than big, die-cast things.
Yeah,
But,
that's for sure. Yeah. Do you collect any die-cast?
if I have to.
Oh, okay.
I tell you, I just picked up a Bugsy Stevens autographed 125th modified, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah, when Bugsy first came to Daytona, he had a 65 Dodge that he ran in the old Permatex race, and one of my very first sign painting jobs was on that car.
Oh.
It was a purple and white 65 Dodge with orange trim, and it was sharp, real sharp. Yeah, the Bugsy was a great guy. We used to do lunch with him every now and then.
It was an interest. I didn't know him, but because I was a dirt guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're either a dirt guy or an asphalt guy.
That's
and,
right.
You know, I back when I owned Modified, I had a kind of a red fancy sports car at one time.
Oh, boy.
And we were running the Lebanon Valley 200, and I drove it up there, and I parked it off the third turn behind the water shack and thought it was going to be good. And the next morning, Howie Commander had gotten us a hotel, and we wake up, and my red car was brown.
Oh, gee.
And, yeah, there's something about dirt tracks.
Yeah.
You know, getting my wife to go to Volusia County, one night.
Is that right?
She's good one night. Modifieds or sprint cars, take your choice. You can't have both.
Well, we're going to pack it up for another week, and we cannot thank you enough for being here. You did a fantastic job. How about
Yeah.
this guy, huh?
Wonderful.
Yeah, one of the
Thank
the
you.
real great behind-the-scenes people that you never hear of. But look what he's accomplished, and what he will continue to accomplish too. And we're just honored to have you.
Well, it's, Buzz, I've respected you a long time, and I would have to say legend is a little stretch for me.
Well,
For the but I've had a really fun career.
yeah, it's been great, and you make a great guest, and we really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Got a few folks who got to say thank you too for putting on the show. We've got Danny over here working the board.
Hey, Danny.
Hey, and we've got Mike with the sign,
Mikey.
the applause sign there, and Larry and Tony with your questions. We do appreciate that. And it's so good to see Skip back with us today.
Yep.
Hey, Skip. Yeah. Good to see you, buddy. Absolutely. So we're going to do this again next week, and we're going to keep doing it until we get it right. Isn't that, Rich?
That's a good deal.
Yeah, okay. Cool, man. Well, you guys take care. Have a great week. Have a happy new year. Hope you had a good Christmas. And it'll be a whole new year by the time we get back here.
It will be.
Yeah. Okay, take care. Have fun.
The Legends of Racing radio show originates live from the very spot where beach racing began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. Join us next time for the Legends of Racing